Good evening and welcome to the show. The Birds continue rolling along. That's 5 in a row, and most importantly, they took care of business in dominating fashion versus their most hated rival, the Dallas Cowboys. It's time for my breakdown. After the bye, I said step by step, and the Eagles in phases are getting better week after week, building towards the late November and December when wins really count the most. The Cowboys are a team in total disarray, but these are the type of games that the Birds expect to win, and boy, did they get it done in Dallas. This game in many ways was about the defense, but let's start on the offensive side of the ball first. We'll save the best for last. The offense got off to another slow start, but the defense gave them a second series gift on a Cooper Rush fumble that set them up at the 17-yard line. 4 plays later, the Birds had a 7-0 lead, and honestly, that's all they really needed. Hurts threw an end zone INT and fumbled on a Michael Parsons sack, but the defense held the Cowboys to just 1 field goal off of those 2 turnovers. On the last play of the first half, Jalen led the offense on a 7-play, 84-yard drive that culminated in a 14-yard Dallas Goedert touchdown. Welcome back, Dallas. The Birds received the second half kickoff and went 3 and out the first possession, and then the offense kicked into high gear. After a 31-yard punt return by Cooper DeJean, the Birds punched it in on a 5-yard Johnny Wilson touchdown. Then followed up that very next possession with a 7-play, 83-yard drive that ended with an 8-yard Jalen Hurts touchdown run. After back-to-back fumbles by Jake Ferguson and Cooper Rush again, the Birds wrapped up the scoring with 2 Jake Elliott field goals of 39 and 38 yards. It wasn't a great day rushing for Saquon, only gaining 66 yards on 14 carries, but Jalen chipped in with 7 carries of his own for 56 yards, and with Shipley and Gainwell chipping in and mop-up duty, the Birds amassed 187 yards on the ground on 38 carries for 4.9 yards per carry and 2 rushing touchdowns by Hurts. While Jalen's passing numbers have not been overwhelming, he continues to be efficient. 14 for 20, 202 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, and a 115 rating. That's huge. The 5 sacks in the first half of Jalen Hurts is a bit of a concern, but Kellen Moore seemed to make some adjustments in the second half that yielded 0. A.J. Brown's return was a welcome sight. He had 5 catches for 108 yards. The Birds' offense dominated, accumulating 348 yards of total offense, 24 first downs, and winning the time of possessions 38 minutes to 26. Defensively, you gotta love what Vic Fangio is doing with this young defense. He seems to have figured out his players and what they do best, and the players look to have a greater grasp of Fangio's scheme. 5 turnovers on the day for a team that going into the bye was darn near last in the NFL in turnovers. The Dallas offense, even with Dak Prescott, has been abysmal all season, and the Birds gave no quarter. When Jalen turned the ball over, the defense stood tall. Versus the run, they only yielded 97 yards on the day. Versus the pass, they only gave up 49 yards for the day, for a grand total of 146 yards of total offense on the day. They treated the Cowboys offense with a backup quarterback as they should have, limiting the Dallas offense to 104 total yards in the first half alone. It looks as though the young guns are inspiring the vets to level up. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell continue to impress. Zach Bond, 2 forced fumbles that the Birds recovered. Bryce Huff got a sack and a forced fumble that Milton Williams recovered, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had an interception, a recovered fumble, as well as Reed Blankenship with a recovered fumble. That's a lot of good football for a defense that through the first 4 games was very inconsistent. I almost feel remiss if I leave anyone out, to be honest with you. So Nakobe Dean continues his stellar play. Jalen Carter, although the stat line often doesn't indicate it, is just dominating versus the run and the pass. And this top 3 defense in the National Football League is playing with great confidence, tackling 100% better. And as they continue to improve, they're going to be quite the force, exactly what the doctor ordered. This team is playing great complementary football, and I believe they're just scratching the surface of how good they can be. It was good to see them dominate a lesser team and allow Nick Sirianni the luxury of resting the starters in the fourth quarter. Looking ahead to the Thursday night football game at the Link. That's my breakdown. After this break, Matt Lombardo NFL reporter joins me to further break down the Birds and their huge division matchup versus the Commanders on Thursday Night Football.
It's happening again. Those missed tackles are starting to stack up. Your friends pleading with players who can't hear them, sweating it out week after week. But not you. Why? Because whether they score or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx app. New casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours.
Most people don't know how to get the care they need. The experts at Stay at Home Care can help. Before choosing a caregiver or family member for your care, you need to apply for the Home Care Program. The application process can be complicated. Stay at Home Care can help you navigate through every step. Once approved, your caregiver or family member will receive guaranteed weekly pay, a variety of medical benefits options, paid holidays, paid vacation, and overtime pay. Call Stay at Home Care, here to help every step of the way.
I'm in that mode. Stick to the code. I'm in my zone. Let's go. I'm back in my bag. I'm wrecking the wins and it's making them.
You've got your Sunday obsession, and we got you. Now with Verizon, get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV on us and get every out-of-market Sunday game. Plus $800 off Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
See you Sunday.
At Pond Lehocky Giordano, we understand the impact an injury can have on your life. Our experienced attorneys have recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we know we can do the same for you. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family-owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging. Our core values drive everything we do. Come, join our team.
This segment is brought to you by Pond Lehocky. Welcome back. Joining me now is the NFL reporter, founder of Between the Hash Marks, and Fox 29 Philly sports on-air contributor, Matt Lombardo. Matt, what's your take on these 5-in-a-row Birds?
Yes, Seth, it really feels like in a lot of ways this Eagles team has turned a corner. You look at what they've been doing on offense, they're asking less of Jalen Hurts, and he's delivering more. I think it's over the last 3 weeks, his passing attempts have gone from averaging 39 per game down to 22. They've leaned into running the ball with Saquon Barkley, letting the offensive line build its confidence as road graders and run blockers. And defensively, they're playing some of the best football of anyone around the league right now. You look at the last couple games, and certainly Sunday in Dallas, it's the second time this year where they've held a team under 50 net passing yards. So if you can keep that up, you're going to be a really tough out in the NFC.
No doubt. After a slow start on offense, the Birds got rolling versus the Cowboys last week. What impressed you the most?
Yeah, I think it's just the depth that they have right now. You know, you get Dallas Goedert back. He gets involved in the passing game. Jahan Dotson finally starting to make some big plays downfield in the vertical passing game. And even when Saquon Barkley doesn't eclipse 100 rushing yards, he still comes close to that number from a yards from scrimmage perspective because of what he's able to do in the passing game. And I think big picture here, Seth, we've seen now a trend over the last 3 weeks or so that this offense has gotten more in tune with what Jalen Hurts does best, what he's most comfortable with. And the more they continue to feature Saquon Barkley, the more they continue to funnel the passing game through A.J. Brown, I think that's what makes this offense most potent, most dangerous. And I think that Thursday night against the Commanders, you're going to get a real barometer for just how seriously to take this Eagles team and just how competitive the division race is going to be down the stretch.
Matt, there seems to be a renaissance in the running game, and Jalen's number have not been all that great, but the team is winning. Do you like how they're actually getting it done?
Yeah, I think when you have a running back, Seth, like Saquon Barkley, you don't need your quarterback to be a focal point of the running game. And yet he still had 3 rushing touchdowns on Sunday in Dallas, 3 the week before, in a couple weeks ago in Cincinnati. I think that what makes Jalen Hurts dangerous as a runner is what he's able to do in the red zone. They've clearly, we now know the empirical evidence shows that the tush push is here to stay. It's a focal point of what they do offensively and a key cog of what they do in the running game. I don't think the Eagles need to win by Jalen Hurts being a threat running the ball between the 20s. They need Jalen Hurts' mobility to be a threat down inside the red zone. And I think when you have Saquon Barkley in the backfield and the ability to get him involved in space, whether it's in the short passing game where he's able to make guys miss after the catch or just as your traditional running back, that's less that you need to put on Jalen Hurts' shoulders. And I think that the more balance you have on offense, the less that you're asking your quarterback to absorb the physical punishment of 10, 12, 15 rushing attempts per game, the better off your offense is going to be and the higher ceiling you have.
The defense has gone from being a bottom dweller to a top 3 defense in the National Football League over just the last 5 weeks. In your opinion, what's the biggest reason for the turnaround?
Yeah, you and I spoke about this on Sunday night a little bit, Seth, for my Monday morning column at Between the Hash Marks. I think it comes down to a couple of things. There's a lot of familiarity there between Vic Fangio and the players and vice versa. And I think that when you look at what they're doing right now, they're getting elite play out of these young cornerbacks. So you look at Quinyon Mitchell, who has played his way into the Defensive Rookie of the Year conversation. You look at Cooper DeJean, who is playing like he's been in the league for 5 years and playing at an all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber level. Think back to where this defense was a year ago in the secondary and how much oil it was leaking down the stretch with James Bradbury and Darius Slay and some of the big plays they were giving up in the passing game. I think a more solid secondary, a more dominant set of cornerbacks has allowed them to really pin their ears back and get aggressive in the front seven. 5 turnovers against the Cowboys. They were timely turnovers in opportunistic moments. I think that when you look at what they're doing defensively, they're dialing up the heat a little bit more. They're getting more reliable play from their corners, which is allowing them to be a little bit more aggressive up front. And it's the turnovers. If you're winning the turnover battle, you're going to have a real good chance of winning the game.
All right, so next up, they got a huge NFC East matchup. How do you see the Birds faring against this hot Commanders team and rookie sensation Jaden Daniels?
Yes, Seth, I've been a lot higher on the Commanders dating back all the way to the summer. And I look at Jaden Daniels, the way he's playing right now. He's probably a top 10 or top 15 quarterback in this league at this moment, the way that he's playing. They came up a couple inches short with Zach Ertz on that 4th down conversion at the end of the game on Sunday against the Steelers. But if that goes the other way, you're talking about them potentially having back-to-back game-winning 4th quarter comeback drives from Jaden Daniels. You look at what they're doing defensively, they're getting great play from their front seven. This, to me, is the NFC East championship game, right? Because if the Eagles lose this game, all of a sudden the Commanders are right there nipping at their heels. They have a lot of momentum. They have a belief in the culture that is being built by Dan Quinn, the head coach there. But if they win this game on Thursday night, if the Eagles win this game and they're able to, shut down Jaden Daniels, they're able to do what they've been doing offensively over the last several weeks, then you have to start talking about this team potentially as the second best team in the NFC behind the Detroit Lions and start thinking about, okay, who are the threats in this conference? They've beaten the Green Bay Packers in Brazil in the opener. Who knows if the Arizona Cardinals are going to be able to hold on in the NFC West? Who knows if the San Francisco 49ers, even with Christian McCaffrey back, are going to be able to flick the switch and be the type of contender they've been down the stretch in recent years? I think the Lions are still the class of the NFC and the prohibitive favorite to go to and maybe even win the Super Bowl. But if the Eagles win this game, I think they walk to an NFC East title, and you start talking about, can they get to that NFC title game against the Lions, and what happens from there?
All right, no doubt they're going to have their hands full in all 3 phases. Let's wrap a bow around this thing. Give me your keys to victory for the Eagles and, a score.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the Eagles winning the turnover battle and forcing Jaden Daniels into some mistakes, making Jaden Daniels look like a rookie quarterback and not somebody who's been in the league for 4 or 5 years and playing at a high level. I think this thing goes right down to the wire. Wouldn't surprise me that whoever has the ball last winds up kicking a game-winning field goal. I think it's something in the area of 27-26, and the Eagles send everybody home happy on Thursday night.
Oh, how sweet that would be. Matt, listen, man, great to catch up with you. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate your time and your insights. After this break, Brad Feinberg joins me with his weekly betting and fantasy picks.
You've got your Sunday obsession, and we got you. Now with Verizon, get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV on us and get every out-of-market Sunday game. Plus $800 off Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
See you Sunday.
This is Parks. Parks, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.
And the next thing I knew, I woke up in a hospital bed.
Has a friend ever told you a story about an accident and someone says,
you should probably sue them.
forget your friend. Call Ponley Hockey Giordano.
We're an injury law firm that's recovered billions of dollars for our clients.
And with our vast network of attorneys throughout the country, we know we can do the same for you.
So if you've been injured in an accident, give Ponley Hockey a call.
One conversation is all it takes, and you won't pay a dime until we win.
Get peace of mind, Triumph certified at DavisCertified.com.
How do you make sure your next vehicle purchase is a quality vehicle priced right? Go to DavisCertified.com.
Every Davis certified pre-owned vehicle has a 60-day, 2,000-mile powertrain warranty, plus 2 years of free oil changes, a 3-day exchange policy, and a free Carfax report.
Get peace of mind, Triumph certified at DavisCertified.com.
At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at RevXWealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
This segment is brought to you by Bet Parks. Welcome back. Brad Feinberg is here with your betting and fantasy picks for Week 11. Follow Brad at Brad's Best Bet on X. Brad, as expected, the Eagles rolled the Cowgirls up like they were supposed to. Impressive, huh?
It was great to see that kind of performance. Now, battle for first place this weekend versus Washington.
There you go. All right, so let's start with fantasy this week. Give me your top players and defense for fantasy this week.
Well, Seth, I'll start off with quarterback Brock Purdy to me. With Christian McCaffrey back healthy, Seth, I think this guy is freaking good as gold. I think he has a chance this week with some tough matchups for the other elite quarterbacks to be the best quarterback on the entire board, Seth, against the Seattle defense, which to me isn't very good at all. Running back wise, Seth, I'm looking at Devin Achane of the Miami Dolphins. This guy is an all-everything kind of player, kind of like Kamara of the Saints, gets 5 or 6 catches a game, heavily involved. They didn't even use Raheem Mostert on Monday night, Seth. Playing against a bad Raiders team, yes, give me him. Wide receiver-wise, DeAndre Hopkins, Seth, since he got to the Chiefs, has been really a solid, good, productive player. I love Hopkins at a cheap price. And defensively, Seth, look, the Cleveland Browns, not a great defense, but I don't think the Saints are very good at all offensively. But it's one of the cheapest defenses on the board. Give me the Browns.
All right, Brad, who and what defenses are you fading this week?
Well, Seth, look, we talked about that DeAndre Hopkins in the game. They're going to score some points. That is true. And Josh Allen is tremendous, but he's being priced at the second highest priced quarterback, Seth. I don't need to pay up for Josh Allen this week. Plenty of weeks I'm willing to do it. Not this week. Running back-wise, Seth, Derrick Henry is tremendous. But Seth, he's going against an elite Steelers run defense. Now, if Derrick Henry helped in the passing game, like a Devin Achane, Alvin Kamara, maybe I wouldn't fade him, but he doesn't. I'm not paying up for Derrick Henry this week. Wide receiver-wise, Seth, I don't get this one at all. Devontae Adams is being priced as a top 5 wide receiver. Why? It doesn't make any sense to me. To me, Adams shouldn't be priced high at all. He's not been good since he got to this Jets team, Seth. No, thank you. And defensively, Seth, look, the 49ers have a pretty good defense. I'm not saying that they don't. But one thing that Seattle can't do is they can score at a very high level. I do not trust the 49ers defense. It's a third highest priced defense this week, Seth, against a good Seattle offense. No, thank you.
All right, Brad, I'm looking for a nice little parlay this weekend. Give me your top 4 picks for this week.
Well, Seth, I'm going to start you. I'm going to make you smile. I love the Eagles this week, Seth. I really, really do. I think they're playing their best football of the year. Washington is a team. I respect Daniels a lot. I respect the way their coaching staff is done. But I just think the Eagles are a better team. I thought this line was going to be coming at 4, 4.5. 3 to me, such a key number in the NFL, Seth. I really like the Eagles this week. It's my best bet of the week. Seth, the team that's in total disarray is the Chicago Bears. I mean, you want to talk about a team and just absolutely awful. They cannot get out of their way offensively, especially ever since that Hail Mary defeat against Washington. I like Green Bay laying 6. I know the game's on the road, but I think right now this Bears team, I'm not going to say they're as bad as the Giants in Carolina, but I think they're pretty bad. I say Green Bay wins this one by margin. Speaking of margin, love the Detroit Lions this week, Seth. You only have to lay 12.5 against arguably, right now, without Trevor Lawrence, the worst team in the NFL. Give me the Lions to win this game by 28 or more. I don't even need 12.5. That's going to be way too little points. Lions win in a rout. And last but not least, Seth, again, 4 favorites this week, but that's what I thought the value was. Miami Dolphins at home laying a touchdown against the Raiders. Raiders stink. Miami showed a little bit of life. Maybe they think they're still in this thing with Tua. Again, I think they can beat this Raiders team by at least double digits. Lay 7 with Miami.
All right, Brad. Thanks as always, man. I appreciate the time and the picks. Download the BetParx Casino app. Like me, you love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Coming up, my closing thoughts and predictions for Week 11's huge matchup versus the Commander.
At Pond Lee Hockey, we're neither a pond nor a hockey team. In fact, I don't even know how to skate.
Cut.
We're the injury law firm that you want fighting for you.
With our vast network of attorneys across the country, we know the playbook on injury law.
It's how Pond Lee Hockey recovered billions of dollars for more than 100,000 injured and disabled workers.
And we know we can do the same for you.
So give Pond Lee Hockey a call. No other law firm will fight harder for you.
And you'll never pay a dime until we win.
You've got your Sunday obsession, and we got you. Now with Verizon, get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV on us and get every out-of-market Sunday game. Plus $800 off Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
See you Sunday.
Pride, passion, and persistence. These are the values that drive us all at Ron Jaworski Golf. We strive to deliver outstanding conditions as well as playability for golfers of all ages and abilities. Our championship golf courses offer a variety of challenges, from a link-style walk along the river to an escape into the pines and everything in between. My team at Ron Jaworski Golf is committed to delivering memorable experiences every single day. See all we do at ronjaworskigolf.com.
It's happening again. Those missed tackles are starting to stack up. Your friends pleading with players who can't hear them. Sweating it out week after week. But not you. Why? Because whether they score or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx app. New casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours.
Gentlemen, are you ready for a wardrobe update? Introducing Divine Nine's Custom Menswear, your clothier for truly unique, custom-made threads. With Divine Nine, you can design your own one-of-a-kind suit, jacket, slacks, shirts, golf pants, and shorts, perfectly handcrafted by our skilled artisans who will bring your vision to life. Prepare to stand out from the crowd with Divine Nine's Custom Clothier, official clothier of Seth Joyner. Custom clothing made for you.
This segment is brought to you by Verizon Communications. Now the rubber meets the road. 2-2 through the designated post-preseason, and now 5-0 through as many games. Next up, the upstart Washington Commanders and their star-in-the-making quarterback, Jaden Daniels. I think everyone is surprised with the quick turnaround that Dan Quinn has worked with this Commanders team. It usually takes time to build a team that's been bad for as long as they have. With 19 new faces on the roster, the Commanders sit in second place at 6-3 behind the 7-2 Birds. So monumental doesn't even begin to justify the magnitude of this game. The winner will either be tied at 7-3 with the Commanders up on the head-to-head matchup, or the Birds will be 2 games clear in the division. The Commanders are coming off a physical 1-point loss to the Steelers on a short turnaround for a Thursday night matchup. The Birds, on the other hand, got to rest their starters the entire fourth quarter and will have the advantage of home field. This, no doubt, will be the Eagles' biggest test to date. This Washington team is a tale of 2 phases statistically. The offense has a balanced attack averaging 31 runs and 28 pass attempts per game and ranked in the top 11 in just about every statistical category across the board. The Birds' rush defense is sure to be tested. The Commanders average 153 yards per game and rank 4th overall. Oddly enough, Jaden Daniels leads the team in rushing with 464 yards, but Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson round out a prolific rushing attack. Passing-wise, they rank 11th at 228 yards per game, but have an explosive wide receiver in Terry McLaurin, and former Birds tight end Zach Ertz is second in receptions. This young Eagles secondary will have their work cut out for them. Their defense is the polar opposite, yielding only 182 yards passing per game, ranking 5th and giving up 142 yards per game on the ground, ranking 28th. This all aligns perfectly for the Eagles. Offensively, the Birds are second in the NFL in rushing at 176 yards per game and 20th in passing at 197 yards per game. On defense, the Birds rank 5th versus the run, only giving up 100 yards per game, and 3rd versus the pass, only yielding 173 yards. Something has to give, and it's going to be captivating to watch which team can impose their will in this epic battle for NFC East supremacy. I believe the Eagles are hitting their stride at just the right time. Their confidence has been extremely high, riding a 5-game win streak and coming off a dominant performance over the Cowboys. I expect a heavy workload for Saquon Barkley and an equal dose of play-action passes to complement keeping the Washington defense off balance. Defensively, their biggest challenge will be keeping Daniels in the pocket. He can operate from the pocket efficiently, but like Hurts, he does a lot of damage with his legs and passing on the run. I'm sure Vic Fangio will have a plan to handle the run game, as well as a plan to keep Jaden Daniels under wraps. Should be epic. Give me the Birds in the nail-biter, 28-25 on a late Jake Elliott field goal to send Lincoln Financial Field into a frenzy. That's the show for tonight. Check in with me next week as we post-view hopefully another Eagles win and look forward as the Birds fly out west to take on the LA Rams. Good night, Philly, and go Birds.